Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, live here in Palm Springs Stadium. We're set for some power baseball as your Palm Springs Power are set to take on the PSCL Uncommitted Orange team tonight. Power played a game last night against a different set of uncommitted players. Power looking to win 10th game in a row tonight as they take on this set of PSCL Morning League players who are, frankly, George, who are looking to try and stand out against some higher level competition, make themselves known to some more colleges.
This is really great for these guys to get out there, get some experience against some really good power players. They did well yesterday. Even though they lost by 7 runs in the game, they still were fighting no matter what, and that's what you like to see from a young group of guys.
I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by George Hathaway. Similar to last night, George, we'll expect to see 3 different platoons of position players coming in, upwards of 7 pitchers coming into the game for the PSCL Uncommitted group, and at least these first set of hitters, they'll have a tough task against them as they take on Carson Phillips on the mound.
Carson Phillips, a very solid pitcher for the Palm Springs Power, one of those aces in a very deep bullpen for the Power as well. So they're going up against a good pitcher, but I think they're really prepared and ready for this.
Tyler Swan, Colin Wood, Primo Vasquez will be the first 3 men to face Carson Phillips. Now starting his 5th game of the season, a 2.84 ERA and 19 total innings, whopping 30 strikeouts, coupled with only 10 walks. As Tyler Swan will dig in to get us going here tonight, we have...
Yeah, Tyler Swan standing 5'10", 185, big righty there, batting .278 for the Bootleggers in the PSCL with a .480 on-base percentage. One thing that really stands out to me is his RBIs, Evan.
Oh my goodness, yeah. 10 RBIs, that's quite a lot. 10 games played, frankly, up to this point. This will be a 1-1 count to Tyler Swan. It'll be Josh Hernandez, Isaiah Alvarez, and Brock Morrison, left center and right fielders for the Power. Nelson Padilla, Evan Berkey, the second baseman and shortstops. Anthony Angel Jr. over at third. Noah Blythe at first. Tyler's behind the plate, and of course, Phillips out on the mound. Two and 1 the count to Tyler Swan. PSCL Uncommitted team last night were able to get on the board in the first inning as Swan rips a base hit through the middle right past Phillips to get us started.
That's how to really get things going for the PSCL Uncommitted team. Starting out strong, letting your presence known that we're here to play.
PSCL Uncommitted group tonight would love to do exactly what their counterparts did a night ago, putting a run up in the first inning, trying to put the Power back on its heels. So I'll bring up Colin Wood. Batting second tonight, playing first base for the Uncommitted group. Hitting .316 this season. A double to his credit and an RBI. Also 4 walks drawn. It's about with a man on first and nobody out ahead, 1-0 in the count. And there goes Swan, a second. He's going to get in there sliding. Read that ball really nicely in the dirt. So a chance early for the PSCL Uncommitted group. Now the man on second base, nobody out, and a 2-0 count to the dangerous Colin Wood. And ladies and gentlemen, just like last night, joining us up in the booth once again, reigning PSCL Manager of the Year, also the Manager of the A's this season, Don Bray. It's great to have you, Don.
Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it. George, hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Don. It's great to be out here at Palm Springs Stadium watching the PSCL Uncommitted team going up against the Power. And, I mean, Don, one thing you really like to see is the base running. I mean, as, of course, manager of the A's, you see that a lot. You like to steal bases. How important is that for these guys?
I think the base running is extremely important. You know, it's one of the things that's the most difficult thing about being an uncommitted guy or just a college baseball player that didn't play too much is base running, knowing the rules, knowing when to go, when to steal, when not to go. That's kind of the most important thing. So seeing these guys that are elite base runners are actually a lot of fun.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you want any information on any of the PSCL players out here tonight or even the group that played last night, contact Don Bray, joining us up in the booth right now at 626-664-5136. So what stood out to you last night, Don, as far as how things you saw with the PSCL group?
I like the way they attacked and went after it. I think they might have even out-hit the power last night. It's awesome to see dudes step in there against advanced arms. These arms they're seeing are very elite guys. You got Carson Phillips on the mound right now that's might sign a indie ball contract here in the next couple of days. So it's awesome to see Tyler Swain come out and base hit right away. Guys just swinging it. It's awesome. Love to see it.
Primo Vasquez up at the plate right now, ahead 3-0, hitting .286 so far this season, 2 doubles to his credit, 4 RBIs. So we'll see a green light here, Don. You mentioned that last night, trying to stay aggressive, maybe doing things you're not always comfortable with, especially during these summer league games.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting used to being uncomfortable is huge. You want to be successful, you're going to have to learn to be uncomfortable. One of the biggest phrases I use is be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Is a thing a lot of programs I've been around and the program I'm at now really preach.
So Primo Vasquez draws a 4-pitch walk, putting men on first and third with 1 out against Carson Phillips. The power look to turn 2. So that brings up Jack Ray, who takes a breaking ball in there, strike 1. Jack Ray hit hitting 364 so far here in the PSCL League. A couple RBIs to his credit. High on base guy, OPS close to 800. That ball gets away, and here comes Tyler Swan. He'll cross the plate, and just like last night, PSCL Uncommitted team lead early, 1-0.
One thing I really like about Jack Ray, he has 10 stolen bases on the season for the Snowbirds in the PSCL. A big reason why they are the league leader in stolen bases as well. So another guy who's very aggressive when it comes to base running.
So an 0-2 count now to Ray. Second wild pitch so far this inning. That's in there for a called strike 3. 2 outs here in the first.
How about third baseman Julian Gonzalez?
So I'll bring up Julian Gonzalez, third baseman, batting 5th tonight for the PSCL Uncommitted group. Gonzalez with a couple RBIs to his credit so far this season, a couple walks, a couple hit by pitches. High on base percentage close to 400. He's behind 0-1 in the count. Carson Phillips trying to work out the jam here, the man on second base. He's allowed 1 run so far this inning. PSL Uncommitted team taking advantage of a couple wild pitches. And there goes Vasquez, go for third, throw down. Safe is the call over at third base. Excellent jump from Vasquez, and now he's just 90 feet away here with 2 outs. Frankly, George, that's big. Couple wild pitches already here in the first.
Yeah, that's just good base running there from Primo Vasquez, knowing where that pitch is going to be, having an understanding that he can get off the jump there with the lead on second to third to help him out and help his team out, most importantly.
So second stolen base overall in the season for Vasquez. Count moves to 1-2 on Julian Gonzalez. Steve Outler will be the starting pitcher for this PSCL Uncommitted group. We'll see him in just a moment. There's a breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Carson Phillips. That retires the side. But not before a run crosses the plate for this PSCL Uncommitted group. Tyler Swan got started with a single. He came all the way around. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. PSCL Uncommitted lead 1-0. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the bottom of the first inning. PSCL Uncommitted team able to put up a run of their own against Carson Phillips in their half. It'll be Nelson Padilla, Anthony Angel Jr., Evan Berkey, the first three men coming to the plate. And they'll have a tough task ahead of them. Starting on the mound, Steed Outler for the PSCL Uncommitted team. Frankly, George, he's been outstanding, and that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, he's a .47 ERA. He struck out 22 batters, and he's just been doing really well with 19 innings pitched. I mean, Don, you see this guy pitching on the mound, a very good pitcher, and you know, in your playing days, you played catcher a little bit, so you kind of have an understanding for what he's kind of throwing out there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, with Steed, he's a premier arm here in the PSCL. Really goes after dudes. He's got great tempo, gets the ball back, gets on the mound, and goes after the next strike. Good velo too in our league. You know, he's going to whip that slider just like we saw there across the plate quite a bit. You know, special arm that anybody, you know, in the country could really use. You know, like you said before, .47 ERA doesn't happen unless you know what you're doing up there. So it's been awesome to see him succeed so far, and he actually closed the game for my first loss of the year. I think we were 8-0 before we lost the Snowbirds a couple weeks back. So great pitcher, got to see him firsthand, and you know, it's awesome to see him work against the Power now.
Nelson Padilla, the leadoff man for the Power tonight. 1 for 6 so far in limited opportunities. Couple RBIs to his credit, 4 walks. So that ball's grounded out to shortstop. Jack Verhelbert that throws on the run over the first. Nice play to get us started. 6-3 for those keeping score at home, and there's quickly one out. Once again, manager Don Bray joining us in the booth for the second night in a row, ladies and gentlemen. If you want any information on the PSCL players tonight or last night, contact Don Bray at 626-664-5136. With one out here, that'll bring up Anthony Angel Jr., the third baseman, as he takes a breaking ball outside 1-0. Anthony Angel Jr. batting .326 so far this season. He's playing 13 games so far. 9 RBIs. OPS close to 900. He's ahead in the count 2-0.
It's awesome to see Anthony Angel here play for the Power. You know, was playing in these games last year as a PSCL player. So he's definitely come full circle.
The ball's on the ground over the third. Julian Gonzalez up with it over the first. 2 ground balls, 2 quick outs here for Steed Outler.
Don, you just mentioned how Anthony Angel Jr. kind of rose up in the ranks from PSCL now to Power. How important is the growth that you've been kind of seeing in the PSCL to bring some of those guys even up to the Power? We've seen it a lot this season already.
Yeah, I think it's one of the advantages the Power have is that, you know, the guys that excel in the PSCL are always going to get their opportunities up with the Power. You know, it's great, like you have Richie Amavisca up here with the Power now, who's with the Jacks, also Harrison Pontoli. You know, you've had Caleb Skoll, Chris Perez from my A's team come play with the Power as well, Spencer Dickinson as well. So, you know, it's awesome to see those guys just get better and see them compete. You know, they can go in the PSCL and work on kind of those things they might struggle with, and then they can come up here and actually